HarperCollins presents Searching for My Slave Roots, written and read by Malik Al Nasir. This book is dedicated to my ancestors who were enslaved by the Sandbach Tinne dynasty. May this go some way to lifting the silence of their anguish and ensure that future generations will never forget their immense sacrifice so that we could exist. The great force of history comes from the fact that we carry it within us, are unconsciously controlled by it in many ways, and history is literally present in all that we do. James Baldwin. Preface. Nigger, nigger, pull the trigger, bang, bang, bang. Daddy, what's a nigger? I asked naively as I walked home from my first day across Farm County Primary School in Netherley, a new council estate on the outskirts of Liverpool. It was 1973 and I was 6 years old. My father, Reginald Wilcox Watson, was a towering figure of a man, 6'1" tall, with a dark complexion derived of his Afro-Guyanese heritage. I heard him suck his teeth as he glanced down at me, with an awkward scowl on his face. "Squant," he muttered under his breath. "Take no notice of that," he declared, with an air of utter contempt in his voice. We walked on in silence for a few minutes, along the pristine, newly laid black tarmac path that extended from the site of the new school across the Oller towards our new home. The Oller was the term people in Liverpool used to describe an unkempt area of wasteland. As Netherley was only built in the late 1960s, there were still areas that were undeveloped, and others that were still under development. Indeed, the school itself had only opened in 1973, despite most of the new families moving into the surrounding council housing during 1969 and 1970, as we ourselves had done. As the estate had no primary school at first, the local comprehensive secondary school, Netherley Comp, was used to house infants, juniors and seniors for the first few years, and I had attended the infants there from 1971 to 1972. When Cross Farm finally opened, I recall my excitement at the thought of going to a brand new school along with my 3 siblings, all of whom, like myself, are of mixed racial heritage. On our first day, we were all led into the school assembly hall, and the headmaster, Mr. Talbot, welcomed us and introduced himself and the other new teachers. He had brought in a reel-to-reel tape machine rigged up to a PA system to broadcast a story across the hall to the 100 or so children, who by now were all sitting in their respective year groups, cross-legged on the wooden floor. As my siblings and I were each a year apart in age, we were all separated from one another, but at first it didn't occur to me, as I was so excited to be in my new school. Mr. Talbot pressed the button, the music started, and then horror struck. Black Sambo, living in the jungle all alone, except for Big Black Mumbo and Big Black Jumbo. I was immediately distraught. I turned to look for my siblings and caught sight of my little sister Michelle a few rows back, who looked like she was about to burst into tears. All the white kids were laughing, and I saw several of them pointing at us and saying, "Black Sambo." It was a baptism of fire. Our innocence was gone, and we were at the start of what was to be a childhood characterized by racist slurs, aggression, and trauma. My eldest sister Jacqueline's dad, Kermit Lewis, was a Jamaican, but at that time, I didn't know that she had a different father. We'd never met him, and neither had she. We only found out in our teens some years later when the subject came up. At that time, we assumed that we were all my dad's kids. The other 3 of us, my elder brother Reynold, my younger sister Michelle, and myself, Mark, are all Regis kids, and our mother is Sonia Parry, a Welsh woman from a small village in North Wales called Dysyth, in the parish of St Asaph. Her father was Elvin Parry from Holywell in North Wales, whom we also never met, and her own mother, who died when my mother herself was still a child, was Elsie Knight from Chorlton-cum-Hardy in Manchester, England. My mother came to Liverpool at the age of 17 and soon fell pregnant with Jacqueline. We later discovered that Kermit had gone to prison and left.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?